Mobile Gamer! Yeah! General Grievous's rework dropped! Give me a drum roll, please, right now! Drum roll, come on, drum roll. All right, there, give me a drum roll, come on. We got it. All right, here we go. What was General Grievous's impact on the meta? With Jedi running rampant, the Jedi Slayer now in the game, what is your prediction on the meta impact Grievous has made?
0.
Funny, Revan actually went up in viability. He's 87% of the meta.
87. We'll just talk about this first, right? There has never been a more dominant meta ever in the history of this game. Has one team just controlled everything for this long. 87% is unheard of. I mean, 60%, for 2-3 months was like high. This has been 4 months of complete 100%.
Even more. It's like we're getting on almost
domination.
6 months. Almost 6 months, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's not going to end here.
No, it's gonna go
and
up.
I don't know what our expectations were for Grievous. I know for me, I thought that in my testing and then also in the dev footage that I knew it was going to be weak against certain teams and probably wouldn't hold
of course
on defense. But I just thought like right here that it would have a fighting chance on offense, kind of like how Finn lead or CLS lead. They can actually win against Revan. But I was hoping that droids, specifically the B2 mechanic, was going to clear away all the buffs and they were just going to be completely crippled. And I also thought that there would be some sort of anti-Jedi tag. I mean, that was like the one thing about the movie that was really clear is, he opens up his cape and he's got all these lightsabers, right?
It scares you.
And
It's like, oh crap, this is getting real now. This is real.
This guy is a Jedi Slayer was the theme of Grievous, in my opinion. He was a serious threat. Because he had all those lightsabers and he whips out, he's not a Jedi, but he's holding on to 4 lightsabers, right?
Right.
Which makes him twice as cool as Darth Maul, which has a double-sided lightsaber, right?
Yes. Makes him 4 times cooler.
4 times cooler.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's not a hard counter to Revan. It's just that simple.
So I'm right now in my own arena kind of playing around with a bunch of stuff because Carrie the other day kind of came onto Reddit, spent a lot of time talking to the community because this rework, it hasn't met expectations, really. And I think there's a lot that we're going to talk about that kind of explains why that's the case. So, with Grievous, I don't know what the mods of this team are. This isn't a top 10 Revan team. We're going to slowly make our way up there. But with going up against Revan, depending on how they're modded, which is really important, we're going to talk about the significance of that and the footage we were sent. The Revan battles can sometimes play, it's going to be, let's just say best case scenario, 70-80% of the time you're going to win. I'm being very, I'm kind of stretching it out a bit, and that's, but if you're going up against top 10 Revans, might be completely different. This Revan team, unsure of the mod situation, would have to check it out. We're able to win here. So, to say it's false that, it's not false that Grievous can beat Revan. It is true, to an extent.
They can. This is a really good team, by the way.
It's a good team, but we have so much to talk about the investments for this team, and we got to just start off with here. When we got on the phone today, we first of all said that one of the biggest problems right now is that the expectations, we were going to get someone that's going to compete with Revan. Not completely maybe wipe him out of the meta, but something a bit like a bigger piece of the pie. The pie would be broken up into slivers. Maybe like, let's just say 50% Revan, 15%, 20% Grievous, CLS, and Traya. And instead, things went even higher for Jedi Knight Revan. So the problem is right now, we've had over a year straight of older public dominating. I mean, let's be honest. The only reason why Palpatine really dominated Arena was solely because of SION and Nihilus and eventually Traya. It wasn't Empire synergy going on there. So it was older public. And then what happened later? What started wiping out Palpatine? Bastila.
I just want to clarify my position. Whether or not droids can beat Revan on offense is not what I was expecting. I wanted a team where Revan could not beat them and that they could hold on defense. Like, a Revan owner would be like, oh, crap, there's a droid team.
I'm going
I don't
around
want to
them.
spin. I want to go around them.
No,
because right now,
instead they want to go after this droid team.
It's nowhere near even close that.
Yeah.
Not even close. I mean, I see the forums and Carrie talking about, well, though they should win on offense, that's fine. They probably will. And I think with mods and more time and understanding the team, but that's as far as holding on defense, we're not even close to that scenario. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say, right? It's not even close to that.
No, yeah.
Nowhere near
Revan could walk over this team easily. No problem. No questions asked. I think that's the problem. So in that post that Carrie mentioned, she goes on kind of giving what the intent was, because right now, originally the intent was, all right, we got this awesome Jedi Slayer. We're going to have something to go up against her, because the footage looked really, really good. And then Carrie comes out later on saying, yeah, that wasn't maybe really our intent. Then she kind of shifted the intent more towards Grand Arena. And then I guess if you like that, you like the fact this is going to be Grand Arena viable, there's 100% Grand Arena viability. He might be the 4th or 5th best team for Grand Arena. Right. But then it gets into the question that you and I brought up, the zetas and the gear. How many zetas does it take to have a good Bastila team or a good Bounty Hunter team?
Well, and that's what I said to you this morning. Is like, well, okay, that's cool. This could be an amazing Grand Arena team, and we've talked about it. It's probably the 4th best team in the game, and I don't disagree. I actually think this is a very smart, well designed, thematically true. I like that the mods, like, throw your mods out. You have to mod this.
This is a weird modded team.
Different, and it is. It makes my brain feel good. Kind of like how Night Sisters did, right? Night Sisters was fun. And to a lesser extent, the Bounty Hunter rework. It was like, but then again, okay, so like I'm gonna build a First Order crew Grand Arena team, right? Or a Night Sister, or a Bounty Hunter, or a Bounty. How many zetas do I need? I need 1 zeta on the leadership for Kylo Ren Unmasked, 1 zeta on Talzin, 1 zeta on Bosk, 1 zeta on Bastila, and I have a very competitive Grand Arena Territory Wars team. How many zetas are you going to need?
So I would say at the minimum, I would really recommend 3 to get this team going. You need 1 for the leader. You need 1 for B1. That's like mandatory. If you don't have a zeta on B1, he's useless. 1 mark and you're done. And then I'd say B2 zeta, because this team needs a lot of Terminator. Because this team, it's a very weird team where you don't want to mod for speed. It's more for damage output and health, like offense, critical damage, and health. For General Grievous. So a lot of the 6-dot mods we were originally going after, which were all speeds, now we got to remod and whatnot. So you really need that Terminator coming from B2 and General Grievous to get this team kind of up to snuff. So I would say minimum 3, maybe if you really want to push it 2, Grievous lead in B1, but it's not nearly going to be as good of a team. That's kind of the main problem I'm seeing right now. Versus First Order, you really only need 1 zeta for Kylo Ren Unmasked, 1 zeta for Bastila. One zeta on Bastila makes the Jedi so good, no matter what Jedi you put in. I don't know. It's just
you're actually winning on offense right now.
I have this strategy down.
I do like this.
I have this. I've been playing this a lot, but also I gotta also say the Droideka, it really needs to be at 7 stars to get a lot of viability, mainly because the health and protection jumps up drastically, and he gets marked a lot more by Grievous. That's super important. The damage output's really high. I have it down to a T. I know how this team works at this point, but if they mark the wrong person, like, see, that mark works in my favor. That's one of the best things you can do is mark my Magna Guard. I'm happy about that. So I have the strategy down.
You could just heal up Magna Guard constantly, and you're good, right?
Basically, yeah. So really, it's just this is a very high investment team, high gear. You need a lot of Carbantis, you need a lot of stun guns, you need a lot of this, you need a lot of that. And it's hard for me to recommend to someone to go all in on this team when you already have Revan. If you have Revan with all the Zetas and the Gear 12 Plus, and this Separatist team, let's be honest, how many people really have Separatists all ready to go? Probably not many.
Well, I can only speak for myself. I've completely stopped gearing the Separatist droids. Completely stopped. And I'm saving stuff. I have a fully modded and kitted and geared Revan team, and I've also got a decent ships team where I can take number 1 in my both arenas, and Grievous is not going to change that.
Yeah.
And so then Grievous for me is a Grand Arena team, right? And I would have other Grand Arena teams I could work on that only require 1 Zeta.
Yeah. So, and plus the other thing is, when you think of all this investment you need for gear, you need for Zetas and whatnot, and all that other fun stuff in between, I mean, let's be honest. There's stuff floating around right now. Maybe we'll make a different video talking about it. But when we see what's kind of pretty much confirmed for the future regarding Old Republic, it's hard for me to say, go all in on Grievous, guys. When first of all, he's not really going to be meta. I don't think he's going to... He's good for offense against Revan, but against CLS, he's bad.
Right.
So it's hard for me to tell people to go all in on this when we think around the corner. There's going to be more Old Republic stuff coming to the game that's probably going to top Jedi Knight Revan. So I'm trying to be realistic here. So I have been winning my battles. Trust me, I put so many crystals in, doing praxing over and over again. And I've got this team pretty well geared up. Droideka only is missing one more piece of gear to be fully completed. It's a team that requires a lot of precision.
This is very satisfying to watch them
I'm glad you like
it.
This is a lot of practice right here. It's not out the door. Like, you know, Bastila, like, once Bastila was fixed, out the door, made beautiful sense. She worked very well. Night Sisters worked beautifully. Once we finally got our hands on Jedi training Rey, after we saw the dev footage and we did our own thing, right away, made sense. And you didn't really need to be completely maxed out. Grievous, you need to really have a max out team. You need to have the mods right. You need to make sure the RNG is right. It's like, I'm going to go up against Trey right now. Let's just dump all my crystals right now while we're doing it.
I'm very curious. I would like to see you win this.
I want to win this. I haven't had good luck.
I actually want this team to work and to be better.
I do too, yeah. It's his defense is horrible. I'm making this look good right now, but on defense, if you're using Traya, CLS, or Revan, my arena's like, yeah, it's not that good of a team. Yeah, that's the main problem. So I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna focus a little bit harder, but the problem is with going up against Traya, she's going to get in Rey, or Sion's going to get held by Hatred very quickly. Nas is going to get a bunch of Terminator because I'm applying debuffs to everyone. Trey's going to stack up her damage drastically, and every time B1 is assisting, he's being penalized by Traya. And let's see here. Yeah, see, there goes a cooldown increase right there.
The isolation on that regard is probably ideal also. As far
it's also ideal
what's
for
happening
them.
Here.
Let's see, who can I pass this over to? Let's pass it over to B2. I was hoping for a rock, paper, scissors thing. Like, I would have been fine if Trey and CLS just kicking the living crap out of my Droideka might be able to finish off Nihilus. Come on. Droideka, come on. Let's slow it down. We have a couple charges. Hey! There we go. All right. Let's see. Let's put this together slowly. So I would be really happy if Grievous can give Revan a hard time, which we know he doesn't give Revan a hard time. But I'd also be happy in that situation, if that was true, that Trey and CLS can be Grievous, because there's, you know, I'm not going to lie, you know, CLS tears this team apart. They can ignore taunts. There goes Held by Hatred. Couldn't take care of him fast enough. I think I might be in a good situation. They're kind of not going after the characters I want. Like, that would be optimal. Like, they should have taken out my Grievous a lot faster. We probably can wipe out Drawn here. There we go. Big hit here. Okay.
In every meta, there was always a second team that could always win on offense. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's always been, in every meta, there's like another team. Like back in the day, Night Sisters always could win on offense.
Yeah.
Finn, Resistance, always could win on offense. First Order, always could win on offense. They're like, oh yeah, they could win on offense, but they don't hold up on defense. And so they weren't used. And my thing with the droids is they're really not even that team.
Yeah. Oh, can I get rid of it?
You know what I mean? It's just like, because there is a place, you know, in the game for a team that can always win an offense that doesn't hold up as well on defense. And you're actually, this looks pretty cool. Let's see. I'm curious.
Come on, Grievous. Big hit right here. We need Grievous to get a big hit right here. Oh, if that was a critical hit, we would have landed. Let's cleanse right now. Okay, we might be able to pull this off. Come on, we're down to the wire.
Oh, this is very exciting here.
Come on,
actually,
yeah. All right. Let's see. Too bad we don't have like Django type of synergies where we can. I don't know if this is gonna look good. Come on.
SION for the win. My goodness, SION 1 versus 1.
I don't think Grievous can win in a 1v1 format. Let's see here. We have the damage. 37,000. SION has high armor.
Okay, you can do it. You can do it. Oh my goodness.
I'm just gonna leave it on auto. God, so. I put a lot of time into kind of perfecting this Grievous thing, but it's not anything like Revan where you just go in with a half a brain, maybe even a quarter of a brain.
You can win this. Come on.
See. Ah! Yeah. Oh, whew, that came close to the wire. Wow.
There's still hope.
There's hope. Again, it works. It's an offensive team, but on defense right now in Arena, where we already have a few defenses that are very good. Traya, CLS, and Revan. Those defenses are really good, with Revan being almost impenetrable to an extent. it's hard for people to make that switch over here. And then plus the future outlook of the game, hard for people to go all in on General Grievous and go for these droids, which droid could kind of needs to be at a high star count. You need that gear 12 and all that. You need to mod this correctly. I think just we were hoping for something that was a bit better on defense and a little more anti-Jedi synergy stuff, so he could have a pie of arena. I'm not saying let him blow away Revan, because I know there's some new people who just got Revan. That would be kind of sucky if they just all of a sudden Revan lost all viability. But yeah, it would have been nice that Grievous could have been that character where people would say, oh man, there's the Jedi killer. I'm going to be careful, or I'm going to go around them and attack someone else's CLS, Revan, or Traya. And he's not that
as character. As a Revan player, I hate mirrors. Well, actually, I've got it down to a science now where I can do it in 2-3 minutes. But it would be interesting to say, oh, there's a Grievous team. I got to avoid that guy. Right now, I would target a Grievous team.
Yeah, defense is bad.
We're doing that.
Defense is bad.
And right now, I see anything other than Revan, I go after that person because I know it's going to be a lot less work. Than Revan Mirror. And I was just kind of hoping Grievous would be that team where it's like, oh, that's just a hassle. You know, I could win 80% of the time, but I'm not willing to take that 20% chance that I'm going to lose versus your Grievous team. Or it's just really tedious and long. But that right now, I would auto-target you. I hate to say that. It's just I would auto-target a Grievous team.
Yep, that's where it is. So obviously, as you guys saw, with several days of working at this, you can win. But it requires a lot of investment. And I think with this hype being built up for 3 years for this really desired character to get a rework, and then during the perfect time where Jedi are running things, there was just a lot running on this guy. And the fact that right away, he's not showing to be someone that people want to switch over to or invest in or take a little bit of that 87% of the pie that Revan owned. You know, the expectations weren't fully met, but the rework's good. I'm not saying the rework's bad. It is good, but it doesn't really meet up to expectations that people were hoping, but he will fulfill a lot of other roles. Offensive powerhouse and great for Grand Arena, as I have another video coming out shortly about that. Any other last thoughts you want to put out about Grievous before we close out this video?
I actually wouldn't mind this Grievous team if it only needed one Zeta.
Yeah, the one Zeta. One Zeta. If they would have added more things in that Grievous leadership to be very, very good, that would have been a lot better. This is a very heavy team to invest in. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us know down below. Were you impressed with this performance today? And what are your hopes for Grievous in the future? Maybe he'll be needed for a legendary Kenobi. Wouldn't that be great?
Or Padme.
Or Padme, or something. That'd be awesome. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a good team, but we expected more. Leave your like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Check out Mobile Gamer's video and subscribe to both of our channels so you're not missing a thing. Mobile Gamer, lead out our audience, please.